What up, dude? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Let me just get this set up.
Have we ever done an interview together before?
Dude, we haven't talked before, so this is pretty cool because I feel like I know you already because you've like reviewed all my stuff.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like I know you because I've listened to so much of your music, reviewed so many of your songs and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Like in the background. Very cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I just updated the studio, so it's much I was using a picnic table before, so this is much nicer.
Well, this is like a shed, a glorified shed that's been painted. So,
Oh, is that yeah, I'm in the basement right now.
I noticed you got a big Shout London logo. Is that like your main focus, or is there other focuses as well? Because I know you've got three projects. We might as well just dive straight into this if you're happy to.
Yeah, let's go for it, Caleb.
Yeah. Um. So I've reviewed your music under three different guises. So I kind of want to start at the beginning, giving us a bit of background about yourself and how you ended up basically having these three different umbrellas, these three different projects going on and juggling them at the same time. But not only that, but keeping it up for so long.
Yeah, well, oh my gosh, I don't know where to really really start. So I've been making music for like over a decade now. Started off with Shout London, and that was more of like a gigging band when I was living in Orlando. So I got to play like Warped Tour. I got to play like a lot of great shows. Like living in Orlando, you have like so much opportunity to
Yeah.
actually like gig with some big bands. So I got to play with some really cool bands and like the Dangerous Summer, Go Radio, Hawthorne Heights, even.
Wow.
Um, so those were some good times. Then I took a bit of a break and moved to England, and that's kind of when I started. I started the all the projects, and basically I started them all to get my mind off of a breakup.
That was a really intense way to just like hyper focus on different projects then.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Did
Yeah,
you
and
when you came to England, sorry, did you choose London because of
I
Shout London? Or
no. So I actually lived up near Cambridge Way.
okay.
Definitely uh, yeah, London. I visited there a few times. I kind of visited all over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up in England as well. So I lived in England for like 7 years as a kid. So I was always keen on London. And so when I was the one who created the band name back in Shout London started in 2013, 2012. So
Wow. You've
that
you've you've been around, haven't you?
that yes, yeah, yeah.
Cool, cool. Okay, so you started these other two projects. Was um was Shout London? You said that you performed as a group in Shout London. Did that then become just a solo project over time, or is it still a group project?
So it started out as a group project, and that was it was so basically I was a solo project first, but all my friends were like they were like, "This is good. Can I play drums in it?" So I like formed a 5 person band in like a span of a month,
Right.
and then like 2 months later, played at Warped Tour with it, which was just it was crazy. I was like, how did this happen so fast? So that went, but now it's back to solo. So when I moved to England, I got more into just the producing aspect of it,
Yeah.
and so that's kind of where the projects have been right now is just like me doing them solo.
Yeah.
But I am looking to put a actual band together while I'm here in Kansas City. So
Oh, nice, nice. Um, so I've always had this big like question whenever I've been reviewing your projects because you got Felix Lake, Badison, and Shout London. How do you juggle all of this? And that will then probably lead to the bigger question of Project TV, which you're currently working on. Um,
mhm.
how do you juggle these three projects? Do you find it's ever overwhelming? How do you manage your time across these projects, especially when it comes to like social
Yeah,
media, pushing the stuff out there? You're not thinking about one, you've got triple kind of the workload. So
it's kind of dumb, honestly. It's just it's so I look at music kind of like a video game. So like I spend my time uh like it's fun for me. So that's I think that's why I haven't like gone crazy with it yet.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I like to make all kinds of music, and I just figure that some of the songs don't fit with the other song. I think it would be kind of weird if I had Felix Lake and then all of a sudden have a Badison song on that album. I think although I am adding some rap elements into Felix Lake into the album, so that should be neat.
Oh, very cool.
But yeah, and I also work with musicians all across the globe, so that they're able to help me crank out as much stuff as I do. So for some of the stuff, I have session musicians that will, play some of the stuff, send me it, and it's not so it's a solo project, but I also work with people,
Yeah.
and I'm the kind of the person that kind of puts it all together.
Yeah. But then
Yeah.
you've got your people that you can go to for the things you need. And yeah.
hmm
So you've got a
So
great,
typically, I'll be working on something, but somebody else will be working on something else. So I'm like multitasking in a way, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. I like what you said about it's like playing a game for you. Because I've never thought of it like that. And I do like making music myself. Um, so when it's like, oh, I'm gonna play Call of Duty for a bit, you're like, I'm gonna mix some songs for a bit. And that's kind of the
Yeah.
attitude, your hobby that you're going for. And that's really good. I wish I had less hobbies so then I could spend more time on music as well, but there's other stuff going on. Um, but yeah, having that support network around you is really good, and also having free projects for different feelings that you are going for is probably quite useful because you can get penned in, can't you, with as an
hmm
artist with one certain style. So if you're making something for feel, it's like um, but when you make something emo rap style or something that's more for Badison, it's nice to have those. Do you still find, although you've got these three different projects, do you find that you still end up making stuff that doesn't fit into any of those?
Yes, I which which is pretty funny. So I actually did that recently. So I took a bit of a break from music when I moved from the UK to the US. It was moving to another country is kind of kind of hard, difficult to do, and you tend to get busy with it.
Yeah.
But when I was getting back into the making music, I started making stuff that didn't fit into any of it, and so I actually have a fourth project now
Oh
that
no,
isn't
really?
that isn't out yet. But yeah, it's acoustic electronica um,
Um,
music. So yeah, I'm just gonna add more.
wow.
Why
Okay,
not?
so if we end up talking in like 10 years time and you've got like five, six, seven projects, I'm not going to be surprised, it's
Uh,
fine.
might
Um,
have.
So I usually have a question that says, describe the music that you typically create. So in terms of like your go-to, which one would you say you're most comfortable with?
Gosh, because I've been doing the projects for a couple years now.
Mm,
I think they're all pretty even. Like I could one night just come down here and crank out a Badison song, the next day do a Phil Slake song.
yeah.
Yeah, they're all they're all natural, I suppose. Yeah, so I wouldn't really pinpoint it. I think Shout London, I've done it the longest.
Yeah.
But
You kind of get the vibe as you're making it, like you're kind of wearing that hat and it just kind of
yeah,
happens. Yeah. Brilliant.
maybe I'll split personality disorder or something because
It's
because
like
I'm
the
able
movie
to just
Split,
switch it up.
it's like Split, but
Yeah,
not as bad. It's just for music. That's okay.
yeah, exactly.
So talk a bit about Project TV, what you've decided to do. Because I saw an Instagram post that you did about it, and I was like, what are you on about? This sounds impossible. So yeah, give us a bit more detail.
Yeah, so I decided just randomly I wanted to do a a project, something to help me get even more creative than I already am. And I wanted to like I just wanted to do somewhere I could set a goal
Yeah.
and like try to achieve it. I suppose it's like kind of like if someone wanted to go hike the Appalachian Trail or climb a mountain, I set a goal of creating three separate albums, around 10 songs each for each of the projects, while also releasing other music that's not even on those, just for just a goal. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really all there is to it. And I love making music, so I was like, this will be sweet. I haven't
Yeah.
put out a whole album since 2014. So I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah. That's nice. And it's nice to give yourself like targets, isn't it, when musically, because I think if you set yourself a goal, you kind of dedicate yourself to doing that. Like I've made little EPs in the past and gone, I wonder if I can do this, but it sounds all natural, like there's no digital stuff. And
Hmm.
then, when you set that goal, you kind of have the end goal there and you dedicate yourself to creating that. So it is nice. Albums is an interesting one in today's kind of day and age. Um, how do you feel about doing an album in the terms of like, are you worried about it being worth it or not? When you look at other artists today and they spend a long time like just basically dripping in single after single after single till eventually over the course of like 3 years ends up being an album. Um, do you have a strategy in mind for how to release that?
Absolutely. So I definitely agree with the single approach. And that way on Spotify, even Amazon Music, you can, pitch each song as they come along and hopefully land on some pretty sweet playlists.
Yeah.
So the intent is to do an album, with the waterfall approach, which is basically, one song will come out at a time for
Right.
the album and it will populate. You kind of see that ish with the new Linkin Park stuff, how you see how some of those singles you can't click them yet,
Yeah.
and you want to so
Yeah.
bad. Um, so and so it'll be an album, but they will be all like singles, but come
Yeah.
together at the
So
end.
what's the release window then for this album? How long is this kind of time span for each album? Are they all running at the same course of time?
Yeah, it's all. I'm just working them all at the same time. So right now I've got two songs out of 10 done for all three projects.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, basically, you've kind of almost written an album there just with 6 songs, and it probably feels like you haven't written an album as well because you got 3 of them to do. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so the writing process, do you have a vision for how long you think that's going to take you? Or and even then the release strategy, it's going to be a while, I'm assuming, this project, unless you just suddenly have a massive creative burst of energy and get the whole albums completed in a month.
So yeah, I do have a full-time job, so it is difficult to find all the time to do this.
Yeah.
I am aiming for next year, I was aiming for early next year, but I think it's going to be hard to do that. But it would be
Yeah.
great to get it in by spring of 2025. Because the other aspect is I want to feature other artists on there.
Mm.
Yeah, right now I have a good feature, like a very popular feature for Shout London, a big inspiration of mine that's going to be on the album. But I
Cool.
want to find some for Felix Lake and Badison too. So that can kind of like be a hold up as well because I'm working on other people's timelines and stuff for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that
I'm
would be
currently
the biggest hold up.
I'm currently doing a project where I'm writing a song a month for 12 months, and each song has a different collaboration with another artist.
When are
And
you gonna hit me up? When are you gonna hit me up?
hey, you know what? I do have one in mind, and it's for no a November song. I've got an idea.
Yeah, I think we
So yeah,
talked about this before.
Yes, but there's one thing I hear your music and I'm like this with the production standards, and my production standards aren't there, and I'm just like, oh, he sounds so good, to be like integrated in his library. I wouldn't feel worthy, So,
I'll
um,
produce it. Don't worry about it. I'll produce it. Just send
okay,
it my way.
okay, cool, cool, cool. But the point I was going to be making was, it is difficult when you've got lots of people featuring, isn't it, to try and like keep badgering them. Have you done this yet? Have when you're going to get it done and everything and the waiting around? When you said next year, I thought, oh, next year, it sounds so far away. No, it's not. We're in October. You're talking about spring next year. That's what, 4 or 5 months?
Yeah.
Mm. That's quite ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I've got six of the 30 done, which
It's nothing.
sounds like a lot. But also like that means six are like done completely. So I have
Yeah,
all of them are written already.
right.
So I have the 30 songs written already.
Oh, that does change things then. So they're
Yeah.
written. You just need to put them together, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's doable.
Yeah.
That's doable. That's fine. That's fine. And I've reacted to a song from each of these three guys as you go under. Are these songs that will, release in these albums?
So only three songs that you have done will be in the next albums. Sorry, I'm being like what is it? Kind of what's the word for it?
You're not trying to give me too much there.
Yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
so three songs that you reviewed will be on the album. So that'll
Okay.
be nice.
Brilliant. And you can go and check them out. They're in the description down below. I mean, not currently now in this Zoom call, but they will be in the YouTube video. Yeah.
Yeah, down there.
So do check them out. Always have fun listening to all three of the guys as you go under. I always have a good time reacting to them, which is fantastic. Um, how do you feel the songs have gone? Are you happy with them? The songs you've got, the 30. Were there more songs and then you refined it down? Or have you just got the 30 and that's it?
There's more. Yeah, there's more songs than the 30. For sure. I feel really good about them though, because I think especially Felix Lake and Battison, as those progress, I get a little bit better at producing
Yeah.
the music for it. So I think that the new songs are going to be even better than the old stuff. But yeah, I like the some really catchy hooks in them,
Yeah.
and yeah, I feel really good about it actually.
That's
And then
great.
Felix Lake, I'm actually incorporating some rap into it, so that will be really interesting to
You're going like
hear.
with the metalcore trap route kind of thing.
Well, yeah, like I Prevail, Never Tell,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
stuff
Ronnie
like
Radke.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, oh yeah, Ronnie, he's on another level, that guy.
He is the artist when I think of like the Waterfall release schedule. He's the one I think of because he was working up to his album since like 2018, 19 or something.
Yeah,
Like that's a long release window for an album, isn't it? But yeah,
yeah.
I mean these modern metal elements that are coming into it, especially the trap, I always enjoy it. I always think it's really good element to have. So yeah, brilliant.
Mhm.
And are there going to be features on every single project? Like, is it every song? Is it just a few songs?
So I'm hoping for like two songs on each album to have a feature on it. So that's the goal.
Brilliant, brilliant. And in terms of your favorite album, which one are you most proud of? Or are you happy with them all?
Um, oh, of the three that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez. Probably either Felix Lake and Shout London. That's like because those are my favorite ones.
Yeah,
I like that. Shout London is going to be a lot harder than you just reviewed You and I, which is like a piano ballad,
I
right?
was going to
But
say.
the album is like pop, punk, rock, like to the fullest. It's hard. It's got like breakdown elements in there too. I
Oh,
think it's going to be a little more punchier than even White Noise and Admit It. So I'm really
okay.
excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
And then Felix Lake's got the new rap elements in it too, which I think adds a whole nother dynamic. that
Yeah.
I'm really excited about as well. So I'm stoked about those. Badison, there won't be much like progression of changing sound. It will just still be the same. So I guess a little less excited about that, but still it's gonna
It's
be
hard,
good.
isn't it? It's like picking between
You
your
kids.
children, isn't it? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, even that being said, like there's a solid formula to Badison, and it's kind of that emo trap kind of thing, which works really well. It's like a tried and tested formula, but you've got your own spin on it too, haven't you? So it's unique in its own special way, which is fantastic. So if you could give pe people a reason to listen to these three projects, what would you say is unique about them that stands out from all the other music that is out there?
I know. Oh, that's really difficult because
Hmm.
there's so much stuff out there. I would say what's unique about mine, and that's why I wanted to talk about Project TV a bit, which stands for Project Triple Vision, aka Triple, three different visions, three different albums.
Yeah,
I think it would be cool for people to hear like this much music coming from one individual and know that they don't have to be like, trapped in their own like genre. That people can like listen, and a lot of people do this already. Is listen to all types of music. You don't have to like just be a metalcore person. You don't have to just listen to rap music. You don't have to listen
yeah,
to country music. So I think the interesting element I think would be that some dude makes all this types of music, and yeah, I think that'd be worth a listen.
yeah. I think it's nice that you kind of show a way to do it because like I was kind of trapped in my music because I was thinking I either choose one lane to go down or I just make all my music completely different and confuse people. But what you are doing is showing a way that it can be done by having different artists, different kind of things to choose from, but you can kind of put them within those boxes and still enjoy yourself and still feel that freedom. And even add a fourth box if you want to for different artists. So that's
You'll get that in your inbox soon.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that actually just got. I recorded that over a span of 2 years, but it's just four songs, and it just got mastered in New York by John Niclerio.
Yeah.
I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but he's did like Census Fails first EP,
All right.
uh,
Oh, cool.
Just Surrender, The Audition. So
Right.
a lot of my faves growing up. So I got to work with him on that, which was super cool. But yeah, you should be seeing that fourth year soon.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool. And what I also like you've been talking about is that the cross-genre kind of stuff. It's becoming more common now these days. If you think maybe if you know Bill Murray, for example, country metal type stuff, there's so much more cross-genre stuff now that even if you are picking a lane to go in, you can do so much within that area. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I know. Was it Mitchell? Is it Mitchell Tenpenny? I think it is. He did a recent collab with Under Oath, and so you're having country artists like collab with metalcore now,
Yeah.
and
Well, you
yeah,
think Jelly Roll with Ronnie Radke, for example, that's the big
yeah,
one, isn't it? Um,
it's
yeah.
cool.
There's a SpongeBob AI metal artist who has done a country song. Like it's mad. It's just like there's so much crossing over of everything these days.
Yeah,
Um,
and AI. Let's not even go there. Oh my gosh,
yeah, that's
it's
not.
getting, it's getting
Um,
wild. I'm like, well, some of these songs are really good too. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah. I have to be careful as a music reviewer. I've been sent full albums or like singles from people claiming it's theirs, and I'm reacting to it like this is amazing, and then someone says, this is AI, right? And you can tell with some of the things on it. So I really have to be careful now.
Mm.
It's shaky ground that we're walking on at the moment. Um, I have like one more, well, two more questions for you actually.
Cool.
Um, how do you feel the internet has impacted your approach to being an artist? If you think back to maybe 15, 20 years ago, what it was like to be an artist back then and how you promote yourself. what's different, and do you have any tips for promoting yourself for the independent artists out there on my channel or anyone who watches this video?
Gosh, since I've been making music, it has evolved so much. I honestly would say I got into music because of MySpace back in the day and having a MySpace band profile. I even had I think a Pure Volume, but it was Pure Volume was dying out when MySpace showed up.
Yeah,
So it actually being able, the internet being a way to show so many people your music back in the day is what kind of inspired me to like kind of start in the first place. So like I would say like the internet kind of birthed my passion for creating music because it just
yeah,
made it so easy to share. But since then, I mean, times have changed a lot. I used to get a lot of listens through Twitter back in the day. I had a lot of Twitter followers, and that was back in 2012, 2013, 14.
yeah,
Like, but now Twitter doesn't exist, and it's really not a platform for music these days. So that, going from MySpace to Twitter, um, Facebook's even dying out now. So that was a big thing back in 2013, 14 when I was, using things to promote music, and I had
yeah,
like 35,000 followers back in the day for that. I was able to gig and get a lot of good shows from that.
yeah,
But nowadays it's just I would say Instagram, TikTok, and then you have your streaming platforms are like the biggest things that I use. YouTube as well. YouTube
yeah,
is one of those things that has been around for the entirety.
yeah.
But
I
it,
don't think
it
that's going to die out. I hope not, anyway.
no, it shouldn't. It shouldn't, honestly. So I would say just uh, you know, independent artists, make sure you have an Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, but at the same time, it's okay to hyper focus on one. I think it's more important that you just kind of choose one and but then just have the other things for those for people who don't use that one that you use the most.
Yeah,
And then I use CD Baby, which is how I get all my music on the streaming platforms. So
yeah,
have your Spotify, uh, the artist login. There's like a whole artist app for Spotify, and then you can use that to pitch to the editors. I've landed a few Spotify playlists, which were super helpful. I think I got all new metal ones for Infrared,
nice.
and that was huge.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's what I would say. Just focus on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and then yeah, just post. You have to post regularly. So
yeah.
I've been doing that a while now. Keeps
And I've
me pretty
noticed a bit
busy.
more as well in the lead up to these albums. There's definitely a lot more content coming from you,
Mhm.
which is great.
Yeah.
That's really good advice. And I liked your advice about just like maybe focus on one more than the others, but have the others, just in case as an aside. I think that's really useful. And it's usually a thing that a lot of artists like fall down on is the actual promotion. Like
Yeah.
they'll release their song and go, it's had 10 views. Nobody cares about my music. And then they just leave it. And it's not that nobody cares, it hasn't been pushed to people. And
Mhm.
we've got to remember that we can't get like knocked down at the first post that we've ever done and expect the world to come crawling to us. So yeah, that's fantastic.
I like that you mentioned that because for the longest time I was trying to I was like I need professional photos and this and that to like and so it was like kind of holding me back
Yeah,
from creating content and then also wanting things to be perfect before I push them and stuff but you kind of just have to like jump in there and just like kind of grow, as a
yeah,
content creator. You kind of start somewhere. You can't see the big guys and be like, "Oh, I need to be like that." Just be you. Start somewhere and you'll get better at it. So
yeah.
just start.
Just start.
And
Yeah.
I used to have a saying, well, I still say it here, but you could be the best band ever, but if you don't like leave your garage and play a show, like no
No
one's
one's gonna
gonna
know.
know.
No
You could
one's
have
gonna
the
know.
make the best music ever and just be play in your garage all the time, but no
Yeah.
one's gonna know. So
I worked with an artist and he was so picky about his music. We spent forever making it. We never got around to finishing this project. And he just I said, what's your game plan? How are you going to release this? Are you going to play some shows in the run up to it? Are you going to drip feed this song that we've just finished? And he's like, no, I'm just going to release it to the world and hopefully the universe will just pick it up and everything like that. And it's like, okay, that happens very rarely, one in a
yeah.
billion, probably even less chance these days. You've
Hmm.
you've got to be trying,
Yeah.
and you have to be resilient. So yeah, brilliant advice. Thank you. Thank you for all of that. And then my final thing, it's a question, but I'm just aware of the time. We've got about 9 minutes, so it's 3 minutes to talk about each song that I've reacted to if you want to. We're giving as much or as little as you want to about those songs.
Oh, you mean the ones you just reacted to?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Because I was like, whoa, you have reacted to maybe 20 of my songs at this point.
Yeah, no, no, no.
Okay.
Just a little overview of each song. I'm thinking, like, can you give me a bit of overview for you and I? Let's start with that. You did a feature with Celine
Yeah,
Chow. Is
that's
that?
it. Yeah, Celine Chow.
I
I'm
might have said
Malaysian.
Celine.
Yeah. I don't. I think she'll be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's a Malaysian artist. She's in a pop punk band over there. I never worked with anyone from Malaysia, so that was really cool. Yeah, she made it easy. I mean, she's a great singer. And the collab went really. It was all over the internet, but yeah, it was simple. I wrote that song maybe 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And so it was just a matter of like getting it done. I had recorded it like several different versions of it. I think I even had like a Marshmallow Chainsmokers version of that song floating around my computer.
Right.
Um, but yeah, and I worked with a session musician who did all the piano work on that as well.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, so I'm really happy how that one turned out. And yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Check out my reaction below. I'm going to say that for each one. Turning Point, Felix Lake, go.
Turning Point. So Turning Point is, I think, a really dope song. I think there's a lot of different elements in it. I was surprised in your reaction you didn't mention, like you usually are saying, like, "Oh, give me a breakdown," for Felix Lake and Tragedy. I mean, not Tragedy, Turning Point. I almost named the song Tragedy. Turning Point had a breakdown at the end. I was like, finally, right? Because I feel like there's so many opportunities for Felix Lake songs to have a breakdown, and then I had
Yeah.
the Bit Crush lead up to it.
Mm.
So Turning Point, I think it has a lot of cool elements. It even has like hardcore elements too, which hadn't really uh, like in the song structure itself, it's a very hardcore song. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It was brutal. I loved it. And also like beautiful. Like I can't believe your voice is that good and that diverse. It's just you've got a very good voice. I'm very jealous.
I appreciate you.
It's linked down below. And Badison, my drug.
My Drug. So that song originally was a whole nother song. It was supposed to be like a Chainsmokers, Marshmallow, whatever pop song, and I had lyrics for it already, and I pretty much scrapped it. Started over, worked with an artist from Canada with on the lyrics, and yeah, I think it came out really cool. It doesn't follow your typical pop structure. It has this like interesting like breakdown dance part in it right after the first chorus, and
Yeah.
then goes into another chorus later on. But yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, that song, and it's different than any of the other Badison songs, which
Yeah.
is I don't intend to do that. I try to make the song similar, but there's always something thrown in that's like I've never done before, which is kind of cool. So this one is definitely different than the other ones. So
That's good. And
yeah.
well, it can be to an artist's detriment when when you stick with the same formula. And if you're changing things up even without meaning to, that's good because it means you're not stagnating. You're moving forward as an artist and progressing. So even within your respective worlds that you're doing this music in, they're still pushing forward, aren't they? Which is brilliant. So I hope Project TV goes well and that you manage to get all of these songs out in spring. Good luck. I'll see it when I believe it. But yeah,
Yeah,
thank you for
feel the
talking.
same
It's been
way.
nice. It's been nice to finally like talk with you.
Yeah,
Because I've listened so much of your music, but I haven't had a chance to speak properly with you yet. But it feels like we've already talked in the past, which is great.
yeah, yeah. I know it's crazy. I think the first time you reviewed one of my songs was like could have been someday, and that was that maybe 2.5 years ago. So
Yeah, I think I just started. I was filming it probably on the first generation iPhone or something in a dark room. So production
yeah,
quality is getting slightly better with
I
time.
know. I'm digging the vibes.
Ooh, nice light over there. But yeah, thank you for coming on and talking to me. It's been a pleasure. So take care. I'll see you
All
soon.
right, see ya.
Bye.
And now it feels so good to say hello, 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 hello. And now it feels so right to say I miss you, I love you. And God, it feels so good to say hello. God, it feels so good to say hello.
Bye, ladies and gentlemen.